Well, Barristan Base here, sorry, but that's way past 1 minute, and the time is way behind us because we have to join in the draft very quickly. But we get what you're trying to say, and it's always an interesting thing to get into the historicity of Ambazonia to know the way forward. But then when we say Ambazonia's way forward, the question is, what of Ambazonia? What happens to a nation like Ambazonia in a world preoccupied with giants? Well, it is easy to forget wars that don't make oil more expensive or wars that don't change stock prices. But Amazonia, too, is at war with a colonial regime, with a world that looks away, and now increasingly with the despair of being forgotten. Then, as the world inches towards another historic explosion, the people of Amazonia remain trapped in a conflict that predates this global unraveling, yet perfectly mirrors its illegitimate power, weaponized silence, strategic neglect. They are caught in a proxy conflict of their own, where sovereignty is dismissed as rebellion and peaceful resistance is met with burning homes and mass arrest. The question then is no longer if the world will explode, but when. And when it does, what happens to those who have already been living in the aftermath for years? Well, we are now in a moment where the lines between local struggle and global war are beginning to fade. In Israel and Iran, we see the rehearsal of a much larger war. In Ambazonia, we see its quiet prologue. And in America's new foreign doctrine, we see its catalyst. It is no longer a question of if, but how the world will spiral into a conflict it is clearly preparing for. But until then, Ambazonia still bleeds without United Nations press statement, without international outcry, and without ceasefire agreement. And that silence is not just heartbreaking, it is tragic. Because in a world where only profitable pain is heard, the loudest cry might still be the one no one bothers to listen to.